Hey everybody, it's just me Ted 1969 here, and just watched a friend of mine who's a fellow Cape Bretoner, and he's also a fellow YouTuber, and he posted a video, which I might even link to in the description, about how they got lost up in the north country of Cape Breton at a place called Cape Clear, and they had to get RCMP to come out and guide them out after they called 911. And he was in a bit of a panic because it was himself and his girlfriend there, and they had the little Hyundai Elantra, and they ended up getting lost in all these lumber roads and quad tracks and so forth. And I've done that myself in daylight hours, and it's intimidating enough trying to back a vehicle out of those things when you've already gone down so far that, if you're not sure what you're doing, there's, it can make life pretty rough. So I don't blame him for panicking and getting nervous, and he did the right thing definitely to call 911 in that case. Little trick I've seen going around on Facebook lately: if you're going adventuring somewhere and you plan to be out, say it's Saturday afternoon, you intend to be out of there by Saturday afternoon at 5, set your voicemail on your phone before you leave radio signal or phone signal. Set your voicemail to say, today is Saturday the 23rd of October, or whatever the date happens to be, and this is Ted. I am going to the banana trail at Fruit Salad Province here in Nova Scotia, and at Punchline National Park, or whatever you want to call it. And I intend to hike this trail. I intend to be about 4 hours. I intend to be out afternoon. You can change that voicemail. And if you're ever lost in the woods, if you still get even a signal a little bit and you know your phone's going to die, you can even leave another voicemail greeting saying, I am now lost on the banana trail, and I'm either staying put or I'm going to try going out by the trail that's near the rock with the fallen tree that I saw a while ago. And you can kind of dial in your location in case a search party has to come looking for you. Anyway, the reason I'm doing this video today besides that is I want to share what I keep here in my van, which we call Adventure Galley, that I keep here for contingencies. So looking into my dash, and you'll have to forgive the mess. We've done a lot of adventuring since August, and I haven't bothered cleaning it again. So let's see what I've got in the dash here. This is the van first aid kit. It's not trying to be compact any more than it needs to be to fit in the dash. But just looking at it generally, I've got a compression bandage. I've got some surgical tape. I've got some of those scissors that can cut a penny. And this green package is a Mylar emergency blanket. I've got polysporin ointment there, another jug there, a selection of different size band-aids. There's some more emergency tape there. And these in the white and yellow envelopes here are feminine maxi pads. And go ahead and laugh if you must, but I was told when I was in the Armed Forces Reserve that those are excellent field dressings to be used in emergencies. And the field dressing soldier carry on their web gear is not much different. So that's just a few more bandages. So yeah, you've got all of that, a couple of ace bandages, pressure bandages, and you're good to go with whatever you need, hopefully. So polysporin, it's just to deal with the light things. And if you ever come on a little mishap or whatever here in the van, I've got that. Because I'm a cyclist myself and we're in the van a lot and on the popular tourist roads, I also keep a couple of spare bicycle tubes under the seat, and I've got a tire pump under one of the seats out in the back somewhere. On to the next part of the tour. Next part of the tour, in the back here, got a first aid manual. So if I ever panic and not sure what to do, I can look it up quickly. And that's just an old manual. It may not be the current year. I don't care. If something is better than nothing, then the Good Samaritan laws will protect you. What's this? it's an emergency tarp. I've got a few of these throughout the van in different locations. And this one here, I think it's a dollar store find. Yeah, actually it is Dollarama here in Canada. So it's a camp shelter, and it can actually make a little tent style shelter. So you've got the 8-foot length and some other stuff there I could probably read better if I had my glasses. But light, fits in the back of the seat here with no problem. And that's one of the things I keep. What else have we got? That's a good flashlight I got, 400 lumens. So, it has the serrated edge and twist focus, waterproof IPX8, which is good. So this is a really nice search and rescue flashlight if I need it. It's one of my spare deer whistles. These things, if you can find them at dollar stores, are one of the few things on earth really worth their weight in gold. I'm from New Brunswick. I've always had these on my vehicles. I put them on in case of moose, which you really don't want to hit. But I mean, even if you're hitting a deer, you're not necessarily going to die, but you're probably going to need a lot of body work on your vehicle. And for $1 at the store, these things are $2, it's money well spent. That's just an emergency rain poncho. I think it's a dollar store find. A girlfriend had another jar of polysporin, which I probably should consider taking in. Some batteries for the flashlight that I keep. I think my flashlight's actually up in my door slot. This is just a little telescope thing that I got off the internet. Here's an emergency blanket. It's a Mylar one. The company that makes it called SOS. I get this stuff at Canadian Tire. Or SOL, I guess they call it. Survive outdoors longer. When I was in the military, SOL meant something different. But yeah, Mylar is really, really good return of your energy. So I've got this emergency blanket. And also, I've got these things, which the box is a bit awkward. They used to come in a nice kind of a plastic sleeve. So it's a emergency bivvy. And what that is it's basically like a sleeping bag, but thin. And you get into it and you're going to basically have some warmth. So what I like about these, I always keep one in my backpack at least. And I've got two here in the van. If you ever come on a casualty and they need to be kept in place, if you're worried about them getting cold or going into shock, you can put them in this, or kind of cut it and put it over them and tuck them in, and that'll keep them warm at least. So I've got two of those. And for survival here in the van, I've also got a lighter and 2 candles. So those are just basic emergency candles. Again, a dollar store find, but all this stuff could save your life if it has to, right? So that's what goes here in the van. And we'll go on to the next part of the adventure. Now we're looking into what the van came with for jack and so forth, your emergency stuff. There's a spare tire floating underneath. This is just rags and a couple of bike locks for if we take the bike somewhere. I tend to keep all these little receipts for fire starter. Just me, it's like a kind of a hoarder's thing. Emergency screwdriver just in case. One of my flashlights that I like to have. This is an older one from Costco. Really nice flashlight. They've got the serrated edge, which can be used for self-defense should you need it. That's one of my bike pumps. Nice little multi-tool. So that's just a basic multi-tool I got somewhere cheap. Keep it in the van. I can put it in my pocket if we're going biking, and it's an extra tool to have along. The van came with a jack, which I haven't had out yet to work with, but I'm assuming it's just a cheap jack that'd probably be lucky if you get it working the one time. I bought a pair of booster cables, so they're in this sack here. So yeah, just basic car booster cables. Got some nicer ones because I happen to have a little money to play with. So another one of these emergency shelters. And there's another emergency blanket tucked in away up there. And then that's just the jack stuff. So that is the van's emergency provisioning, mostly. And I just put the gloves in there so that if I ever have to change the tire and it's cold or rainy or whatever and muddy, you know, it protects me and my hands a little bit more. I'm a pretty boy and I don't want my hands getting too dirty, do I? So, that said, I also keep in the van, this is a breaker bar, not a torque wrench. They're kind of dangerous to use if you don't know what you're doing. I took a millwrights course one time, so hypothetically I'm not going to overuse it and snap the lug nuts. What else do I keep in the van? Couple of blankets, regular real blankets, some rags, a jacket for the girlfriend. There's a jug of my wiper fluid and a funnel to pour the wiper fluid with. Got a tarp there as well. That was more for keeping the bikes from making too much of a mess in here, which if you look at the nice tire tracks on my carpet, I haven't done a good job with. So here in New Brunswick and Nova Scotia, the Maritimes of Canada, you can be quite a ways from help sometimes. And what you want to be careful of is having a supply of water. If you're going on a long road trip, you'd want to take some water with you. You know, if you not too close to a store, might not be a bad thing to have. If we're going adventuring, you definitely need your water with you, at least 2 liters per person per day. So we would have that in the bottles with our pack. One thing I also like to have is this, which you can even get at Walmart, I think, online and beyond. It's your life straw. This will take basically river water with sewage sludge in it and make it safe to drink. And all you have to do is dip that in and you can suck out the other end. It's very basic, but it's good for I think 1,000 liters of water if you take care of it. So I've got that, and because it's adventuring, you know, of course I've got gloves, I've got another emergency shelter there, I've got some freeze-dried rations there, yet another emergency blanket, this nice thing to sit on. That's my pack first aid kit here, which is just a miniature version of the one I showed you earlier. It's got some maxi pads and it's got some polysporin and a pressure bandage or two. Just basic things you need while you're out hiking. I make these out of old toilet paper tubes, and I'll tell you, they're light. They don't take a heck of a lot of place. I like to keep one in the van at least, and I like to keep this here. If you're ever stuck somewhere and you got to get a fire going and it could be raining out, you might not have something that'll catch right away you're going to find on the ground. This will go up like a Christmas tree. So that's something you want to keep in mind, especially if it's got a little toilet paper sheet or two left stuck to it there. So that'll help things along. And one thing that I like to use for fire, that's my bear bell. It's a fire striker, and how that works, I can't do it one-handed, but it's got a broken hacksaw blade that goes along it, and anyway, it won't work very well. Yeah, probably not at all one-handed. So this will start, whether it's wet, raining, snowing, you're going to get sparks out of that. All you need is something dry to catch them, like a piece of tissue or some birch bark, and process some of it down as much as you can. It's good for, you know, many hundreds of strikes should you need it. I try and light all my fires with it just so I'm in practice if I ever do need it in a life situation. I've got it in my pocket how to do with it. So I've got 2 or 3 different kinds of these. Some of them are by Woods and they're a little smaller. I got this one at a Hunting Outfitters and I find it really nice. It's a sizable piece of ferro steel or whatever they call it. And yeah, just a really nice piece of kit to have that doesn't take a lot of space, doesn't weigh a lot, and that'll see you through. So that's what I keep in the van for emergency supplies. I guess I can say I've also got a length of paracord there, just to have along. Don't know what you could do with it. Make a sling, make something. You could build a travois if you had to, or a stretcher out of some branches if you were able to get some of those to length. Anyway, that's the emergency stuff I like to keep, and I hope this helps someone one day. And hopefully you never need it, but if you can afford to, and you can keep some of this in your vehicle, you might find it's helpful to you or someone you care about one day. Good luck, everyone. Be safe.